It's nice to see you again. My name is Michael Williams, and if you've been taking this course and you've benefited from it greatly, however, you've hit a plateau, you've hit a brick wall, you can't seem to get any more traction, or you'd like to accelerate your progress, then you're going to want to watch this video, because in this video I'm going to share with you 4 ways to know when it's time for you to work with me one-on-one. 4 ways to know when it's time for you to work with me one-on-one. So, one way is when you are experiencing what we call inconsistent progress. Okay, inconsistent progress, which may look like you're moving forward, you got some traction, then all of a sudden you start sliding back. Then you're moving forward and you're sliding back. So you're going up and down, right? And so when your progress is inconsistent, that's when you know it's time to work with me as your speech coach. And we'll talk about exactly why that is in just a moment. But I just want to run through, like, when you know, okay, I think it's time for me to take the next step. And if you're like me, you're probably the kind of person that likes to do it yourself, do it on your own. That's what I did for decades, decades. I would get courses and I'd work through it and make great progress and great transformations. But at some point in my business career, several years ago, I reached a plateau. I needed to have some guidance. I needed to have someone who would walk with me and show me exactly what to do. And while I didn't want to invest the money, I did, and it was one of the very, very best things that I did, because I doubled and tripled and quadrupled my business in a very short period of time, because the person was able to help me see things, the program was able to help me see things I simply couldn't see. And I learned things from people around whom knew what they were doing. So I just want to share that with you, just as an aside, but it's also very important, that there may come a time when you're like, okay, I can no longer do this on my own. I can no longer move further as quickly as I would like by myself. It's time for me to work with someone one-on-one. So if you've been experiencing inconsistent progress, then you know it's time. All right, another time when you know is when you find yourself getting frustrated because you have a lack of focus, right? A lack of focus. A lack of focus. And what this means is that you are going through the program, you're going through the material, you're using it, and then a couple of days or a week later, or something comes up in your career or in your personal life, and then you start to kind of slack off, right? And so you're not able to get that traction because you're losing focus and you're getting off track, and you're not able to build the momentum that you need to make the changes to your brain that you need to make. That can only happen with consistency and focus over time. Does that make sense? That's how we learn. It's how we make changes to our brain most of the time, unless it's a traumatic event. Other than that, you need time, you need consistency for those neurons to fire together over a period of time, to fire together consistently to learn the skills and create the habits that you need to take your speech to that next level. So if you've been finding that things happen, life happens, and you've kind of lost focus and you'll come back to it, then that's when you know it's probably time to work with me one-on-one. A third reason is you are not able to figure something out, right? You're not able to troubleshoot and find a solution to some specific challenges that you have had. So you're unable to troubleshoot, right? To troubleshoot. And so you've probably heard this before, but you and I don't know what we don't know. Right? There are some things out there, some things in our blind spots that we simply can't see. We just don't even know that it's there. And so when you work with someone one-on-one who's professional, who's experienced, who's worked with thousands of other people, who has tens of thousands of hours working with other people, that person can help you see things that you couldn't see yourself. or they can remind you of things that maybe you knew, but you simply didn't follow through with it. You said, I've heard that before. Yes, I heard you say that before, and I didn't think that that was real important, and so I tried to do it this way, right? And the reason I know this is because I have been coaching full-time for 10 years, and I have tens of thousands of hours working with people, and there are things that we troubleshoot that I'm only able to see because of all that experience. Not only my own personal experience, not only things that I've learned through research, right, science, but also things that I've learned from working with people just like you from all around the world, and listening to them and seeing patterns and seeing what things work and getting feedback, right, from my clients that says, hey, this is what works. So the thing that you're going to want to understand is that we all have blind spots, and it can get to a point where you're simply not able to troubleshoot certain challenges and you need someone to help you, okay? So that's another reason. Now, a final reason is that your progress is just too slow, right? And some of the reasons for this we can actually find here. This is just inconsistency. And let me just give you an example. There are certain things in this process that you must do, and you must do them consistently. Now, you don't necessarily have to spend as much time as I prescribe. You can shrink the time down. You can expand the time. There are some days where you may not be able to spend as much time as I would suggest, and there are other days when you can spend more time. But there are certain things that you must do, because if you don't do it, then you won't get the benefit, because this is a system, and everything in the system is arranged in a way to help you transform your speech, your mindset, and your identity. So if there's something that maybe you don't like, or maybe you're like, well, that's too hard, that takes too long, let me skip that and let me do this over here. Now, many of my clients have done this. Some of them do it. And when I point it out to them and I remind them, no, you really need to do this. Finally, they get it, they do it, they start to get results. So what happens is when they're not doing those things, when they're picking and choosing the things that they want to do, their progress is too slow. So what I found over the years is that on average, it takes a person 10 times longer to reach the same place that they can reach with me in just a couple of months. In 2 or 3 months, they get to a place, they get to a level that it would have taken them 2 or 3 years to get to on their own. I've seen it time after time, time after time. And it's because of these reasons. So let's take a look at the benefits of working with a coach, of working with me one-on-one. So one benefit is evaluation, right? A second one is from the evaluation, you get personalized and customized feedback, right? And then another benefit is you get, and this is a huge one here, accountability. This is a big one. And then finally, you get encouragement. So let's just run through these real quick and talk about why these are so important for you. So one is evaluation. So when you're working with me one-on-one, I can instantly look at you and pretty quickly say, aha, here's what we need to work on first. Call this the 80-20 rule. That is, I can help you find the 1 or 2 things, the 20% of skills, right, areas that you need to focus on that's going to give you 80% or more of your results, and generally speaking, very, very quickly. So if you're not able to give yourself this kind of evaluation, and I wouldn't expect you to, then what you're going to end up doing is trying to do everything and not knowing exactly what to focus on that's going to give you the biggest bang for your buck. So as a coach, I save you time and I help you accelerate your progress by looking at you, and because of my years of experience and thousands of hours, I can look at you and go, here is what we need to focus on now. That's going to give you 80 or 90% of your results or more. And then Once we've done that, then I can say, okay, now we've done that. Now let's focus on this. But let me just tell you, you still have to do the work, and you'll hear me say this again. You still have to do the work. I can't make you do the work. So we'll talk about that when we get here. So evaluation, I can evaluate you. Feedback, I give you the feedback. I say, okay, here's what I see, and here's what you need to focus on. So I give you the feedback that you need that accelerates your progress, right? As I said, we don't know what we don't know. So when you're working with someone, they can see things that you simply couldn't see. You wouldn't see, you would miss it, right? Or they remind you of something that you might have done a little bit of, or that you skipped. You thought, well, I'm going to try to do it this way. I'm just going to try to use these techniques. But maybe you actually need to be focusing over here on this. And so I can give you the feedback that you need that will save you time and energy and money. Accountability. We create a container in which you feel more accountable. You're meeting with me, you've paid your money, you made a nice investment of money, you're making an investment of time, so you're more likely to stay on track, to stay focused. Remember, we talked about a lack of focus. You're more likely to stay on track and stay focused. Now again, I can't make you stay on track because I can't come and live with you. And I actually have done that. I actually went, my first client, they flew me to India and I stayed with them for a full month. And then they flew me back the next year for a follow-up and stayed with them for a full month. So I actually did live with them and I could keep the person on track that way. But the vast majority of people cannot afford to have me fly in and stay with them for a month. So you have to do the work. You have to be driven enough, motivated enough, inspired enough to do the work. And the work is doable. It's not like it's anything, I mean, I've been doing this for a decade, so it's doable. And you can do it, right? You can do it. And when you do the work, then that's when you benefit the most from the coaching, because you do the work, you get traction, you see progress, you find those areas that we need to fix. We troubleshoot those areas and I say, okay, focus on this. And then you implement what I've asked you to focus on, and then you take yourself to the next level, and then you come back and I go, great, let's focus on this. And that's the way the coaching benefits you. And this is feedback and evaluation you couldn't get on your own. You just can't get it, right? It doesn't mean you can't progress greatly on your own, because I've created the course so that you can. But you may reach a point where you need to go further, faster. Again, coaching is not for everyone, but you'll know it's for you when you are feeling like you're losing traction, your progress is inconsistent, you're not advancing fast enough, and you want to advance faster. Does that make sense? So accountability is this container that we create that helps you stay focused, stay on track, build the momentum that you need to make those changes in your brain that must be made so that your ability to speak well, smoothly, clearly, and confidently is reflected, or is a reflection of those changes that have been made in your brain. So it's that momentum that we build, it's that consistency that comes about because of the accountability that helps you get the traction and see the changes in your speech, in the way that you think, in the way that you feel, and in your whole identity. Does this make sense? And then finally, encouragement. Most people go through a phase or period where they make progress because of the placebo effect, then all of a sudden it drops off, and that's where people get frustrated. So you make good progress, then all of a sudden you come into a dip. And it's right here where a lot of people start to slack off. They get discouraged, they say, this is not working. I didn't think that this was going to work. I thought that this might happen. This has happened with other courses or other coaching. And so, I think I've just wasted my money or wasted my time. Lots of my coaching clients go through that period, and I tell them that you're probably going to go through this. Not all of them, but you're probably going to go through this dip. And when you do, I'm going to be there to help you stay on track and to encourage you. So when I encourage you, you lean into the dip, you keep doing what you're doing. We troubleshoot, remove any barriers out of the way, and you come out at a higher level than you were when you went into that dip, okay? And then you'll continue to go through small dips, but as you go through those dips, what you'll find is that you're actually progressing like this. You go through a dip, then you come out of the dip, now you're higher. You come out of the dip, now you're higher, and you keep going, right? And you're higher, and you're higher, and you're higher. So you have an upward trajectory, even though you might be going through these dips, right? So the coaching helps. It's a container, and it helps you stay encouraged. Even when you get discouraged, help you stay encouraged, help you stay focused. So 4 things, the 4 benefits that you get from working with me one-on-one. One is evaluation. You get professional evaluation, right, from someone who hasn't just done it on his own. I didn't just do this on my own and now I'm a coach, even though that's okay. But I've done it and I've helped thousands of other people do it. And the science and the research is there to back it up. That's why we have so many doctors and attorneys and scientists and engineers who take our courses and work with me one-on-one, because the science is there and the experience is there, right? Feedback. Give you the feedback, give you that 80-20, 20%. Here are the 1 or 2 things you need to focus on now to give you the greatest bang for your buck, that 80 to 90% that will help you get the greatest benefits the fastest, okay? And then accountability. We create that container to help you stay more accountable than you would if you're working on your own. A lot of people are working on their own. They don't do all the things that they need to do, or they don't do them consistently, and things happen. When you've paid your money and you're meeting with me either every week or every other week, my clients tell me this. They say, when I know that I have to meet with you and I've got to show progress, or I need to send you an update video or send you a practice video, it helps me stay accountable. And when you're accountable, you get to build the momentum that you need to make the changes in your brain that you want, so you get the results that you want. You can articulate your thoughts smoothly, clearly, and confidently in any speaking situation. And then finally, I can help you stay encouraged. Again, I can't make you do any of these things, but I can help you and increase the likelihood that you're going to be successful. Now, let me give you one big reason why you may want to invest in coaching. And that reason is because you're going to get what we call, for most of you, a financial return, right? Return on investment. So when you spend your money on coaching, you want to make sure that you get an ROI. You just don't want to spend your money on coaching and it not give you what you need, or that you don't get any other kind of return. Now, all the returns are not financial. Some of them are emotional, right? Some of them are psychological. Some of them are physical. You actually feel better physically and healthier because you're not as stressed about your speech. Some of them are social. Your social life is better. Your relationships are better. But guess what? Many of them are financial. And those are often the reasons why people invest in coaching and in the courses. Because they know, now listen to this, watch this, they know that their speech is the thing that's standing in the way of them getting the jobs that they want and the jobs that they deserve, of them progressing in their career, or them even going into the career that they want, right? That they want, that could be lucrative for them. Or for them getting out making phone calls or making more sales or creating videos. I have clients who are now creating videos and making more calls and making more sales, right? And doing better. And so I've asked some of my clients to tell me, in fact, a couple of recent clients, how much more have you earned as a result of the coaching, right? And so I'll just give you one recent example. So the guy says, $15,000. So I started the coaching, had a couple of interviews, got the job, now making $15,000 more. Another client told me about $10,000. I'm still waiting on some other clients to tell me how much they made. I had one client many years ago $35,000. Literally, he got a job because of his speech, because of where his speech was pre-Pro 90D and where it was while he was working with me. He was able to land a job that he was qualified for, making $35,000 more. And average is about 10, 15 to 20,000. If someone's a CEO or something, sometimes this can calculate into millions of dollars. But if you think about this, this is just one job. So the person invested $2,000 or $3,000, right? $2,000 or $3,000 in coaching, and they got a job making $15,000 more. So let's just look at that right there. Let's say this person invested $3,000 or so, right? And then they got a job making $15,000 more. So right there, for that first year, they had a gain of $12,000. We're not even talking about the emotional, the psychological, the social, the interpersonal, right? The relationship returns on investment. We're just talking about money. $12,000, right? Now, what do you think is going to happen the next year? Well, now he's $15,000. But guess what? Because this has kind of a multiplying effect, now he's more confident, he's more capable, he's gaining more experience, he's exposing himself more. He's now going to be positioned such that he can apply for better jobs, and this is for the rest of his life. So as his communication skills get even better, he's able to get a greater return on his original investment. So now let's just say he gets a job making another $10,000 or $15,000 or $20,000 more. Okay, do you see where I'm going with this? So the return on investment that you get is lifetime. It's not just one time, but it's lifetime, and it multiplies exponentially, okay? So I hope you can see that. If nothing else, look at the coaching as an investment that you're expecting to get a financial return on investment. Some of you, that's not important. It's more social, it's more personal. But for others of you, that financial return is important. And so you'll know clearly, if I improve my communication skills and if I can do it quickly, I can apply for the jobs that I want, or I can demonstrate in my own company that I'm able to articulate my thoughts, give presentations, speak up in meetings, share my thoughts, and so forth. If I'm able to do that, I can position myself in such a way that I can earn more money, and sometimes in a very short period of time. Sometimes we're talking weeks, or we're talking months, or maybe even a year or a couple of years, but you still get that return on investment. So I hope that I've been able to clearly lay out for you why for some of you, not all, coaching is not going to be for all of you, for whatever reason. But for those of you that know that your speech is standing in your way, and you know that you need greater accountability, you need evaluation and feedback, you need to be able to stay on track even when you get discouraged, and you want to accelerate your progress, then you're going to want to get in touch with me so that we can work together one-on-one. You'll never look back. It'll be the greatest investment that you ever make, as long as you do the work, right? You got to do the work because it's your brain that you have to change, that I can't change it. So I want to encourage you to visit pro90d.com, and from there you can go right into our page, and I'm going to try to leave a link where you can go right to our coaching page. And if you've been watching my videos and you've already benefit, some of you will want to meet with me first. Others of you, you don't need to meet with me. You know this is going to work, and you can simply purchase the package that you want, and we'll be in touch with you, and we'll get you started as quickly as we can. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it's helpful, especially for those of you that are now ready to move to that next level. Look forward to working with you and watching you accelerate your progress. My name is Michael Williams, and I'll see you soon.